Welcome to this video essay, where we delve into a recent era of Doctor Who, under Russell T Davies RTD2 and explore how its reliance on nostalgia has, paradoxically, led to disregard for established canon. Russell T Davies is a pivotal figure in Doctor Who's modern history, having successfully revived the show in 2005. Its initial run, RTD1, spanning series 1 to 4, was lauded for its compelling character development, reintroduction of classic foes like the Master, and its ability to draw in new audiences while honouring the show's legacy. However, certain creative choices the show made during RTD1, particularly concerning the Master, foreshadowed a trend that's become more pronounced and arguably problematic in RTD2. Part 1. The Master and Seeds of Canon. Disregard. The Master's reintroduction in RTD1 was met with enthusiasm, yet it came with significant canonical alterations. A notable change was the introduction of the drumbeat, a constant 4-beat rhythm in the Master's mind, revealed to be a signal from the Time Lords during the Time War. This concept was entirely new to the classic series, where the Master's motivations and psychological state were explored through different means. Furthermore, RTD1 presented the Master as overtly insane, a portrayal that differed from the more calculating and cunning villain often seen in classic Doctor Who. Classic Master certainly exhibited megalomania and a degree of eccentricity. The profound madness introduced with the drumbeat was a distinct departure. These changes, though perhaps minor in isolation, served as an early warning of RTD's willingness to reinterpret established lore, a tendency that has been amplified in its second tenure. Part 2. The Rani and the Problem of Unearned Nostalgia. This approach was particularly evident with the reintroduction of the Rani as Mrs. Flood. The initial build-up generated considerable anticipation, but the reveal itself fell flat for many who were unfamiliar with her classic series appearances. Episodes like Wishworld and The Reality War suffered from this same issue, leaving new viewers disorientated and questioning the significance of these characters. This stands in stark contrast to RTD1's success in soft rebooting the series, making it accessible to a new generation without requiring them to have watched the classic episodes. The current era, however, often makes watching older material feel mandatory rather than optional, undermining the very concept of a soft reboot. The absence of authentic dialogue explaining villains and a lack of genuine fear in the Doctor's reactions diminish the audience's ability to connect with and care about the threats presented. Part 3. The peril of unfaithful redesigns and over-reliance on CGI. Doctor Who's charm has always been intrinsically linked to its resourceful, often low-budget, approach to special effects. The classic series and even RTD1 embraced practical effects and clever filmmaking to create iconic monsters and memorable sequences. Where RTD1 incorporated impressive CGI, it was rarely over-reliant or excessive, and the occasional visible green screen added to the show's unique aesthetic. This approach offered a refreshing alternative in a television landscape increasingly dominated by visually stunning yet often soulless CGI. However, RTD2 has demonstrated a concerning trend of unfaithful redesigns and over-reliance on CGI, often at the expense of original essence of the villains. Consider Sutekh, first introduced in 1975 alongside Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor. His original design, though constrained by the technology of the time, was undeniably iconic and terrifying. In RTD2, Sutekh was transformed into a completely CGI entity, losing the tangible, imposing presence of his original form. Similarly, Omega, a formidable foe from the Three Doctors, 1972, was reimagined as a skeletal, amorphous CGI creature in RTD2's Reality War. These redesigns, while perhaps technically impressive, fundamentally alter the visual identity and impact of these classic villains, alienating long-time fans who grew up with their original appearances. The excessive use of CGI, particularly when it detracts from the established character of a monster, undermines the show's heritage and its unique visual language. Part 4. The Pitfall of Easy Endings. Another recurring issue in RTD2, foreshadowed in RTD1, is the prevalence of easy endings, resolutions that feel unearned, overly convenient, or that negate the stakes established in earlier narratives. The two-part Master finale in RTD1, Series 3, while generally well regarded, exemplifies this. Martha Jones' globe-trotting mission to defeat the Master culminates in a Deus Ex Machina, involving the Doctor's temporary godlike transformation via the Archangel Network, which then reverses time to undo the Master's reign. This pattern has been amplified in RTD2. The two-part Sutekh story, for instance, concludes with the Doctor simply tying a rope around Sutekh and pulling him through time, an anticlimactic resolution that defies the immense power attributed to the character. Explanation that its actions somehow brought death to death and killed Sutekh, who was literally the embodiment of death, strains credibility and leaves significant logical gaps. Endings undermine the narrative's impact and leave the audience feeling unsatisfied, as if the writers are unwilling to commit to the consequences of their own storytelling. Part 5. Reality War, a culmination of RTD2's flaws. Reality War serves as a prime example of RTD2 recurring issues. The preceding episode, Wishworld, ended with a catastrophic event where everyone seemingly died, only for the world to be reset with little explanation. Reality War then attempts to explain this away by revealing a plot to thin the walls of the universe to bring back Omega and restore Gallifrey, a plan that, as many noted, bears striking resemblance to the Master's scheme in RTD1. The climax sees Omega released as another unfaithful CGI abomination, only to be easily dispatched by the Doctor using the Vindicator. Then later the Doctor is seen in the episode using regeneration energy in the TARDIS to save a character from space babies. The entire two-part story, despite its grand ambitions, feels narratively hollow, with high stakes resolved through convenient means and classic villains reduced to plot devices. Conclusion: a call for authenticity. Russell T Davies' second era of Doctor Who, while visually impressive in its CGI, is increasingly characterised by an excessive reliance on easy endings and unfaithful CGI redesigns that disregard the iconic nature of the original characters. This approach, coupled with tendency towards unearned nostalgia, risk alienating both long-time fans and new viewers. While the show's effects may look polished, they often come at the cost of authentic storytelling and character integrity that have defined Doctor Who for decades. For Doctor Who to truly thrive, it must embrace its past not as a crutch for nostalgia, but as a foundation for innovative storytelling.